Welcome back to Get Down to Business. We know that often executive teams get trapped in endless cycles of debate. And in high-stakes environments, sitting around the comfortable conference room table having the same polite, circular conversation is also a recipe for operational failure. My guest today is master facilitator who busts through that convention to get leadership teams unstuck and moving. Dr. Marja Fox is a strategic facilitator, ex-McKinsey associate principal, and holder of a PhD in physical chemistry, combining the analytical rigor of a scientist with her background as a trained thespian. Marja has facilitated over 100 C-suite conversations for organizations ranging from mid-sized enterprises to the United States Navy. She specializes in navigating the messy human dynamics of decision-making, cutting through corporate noise, and unlocking breakthrough execution. Marja, welcome to Get Down to Business.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You famously argue that standard conference room tables actively kill strategic decision-making. In leadership, environment dictates mindset. When a smart executive team finds itself circling the exact same strategic challenge for months, what is actually happening beneath the surface, and how do you disrupt that physical and mental inertia?
That is a big question and fundamentally the core of what I do. The short answer is this. We have to recognize that strategic decision-making differs from operational decision-making. The things that we are most practiced as doing as an operating team, those kind of day-to-day decisions about what to do, what not to do, that usually are pretty well supported by our instincts, by data, by patterns. Strategy is different. Strategic decisions are inherently about guiding ourselves into an uncertain future. So if we sit in the same conference rooms and have conversations in the exact same way that we do those operational decisions, our bodies and our brains are trying to pull on all the same muscles and habits that we use in a very different type of decision. And we fail, right? We fail to be able to access the capabilities, the mindsets, the positions that allow us to explore, to create, to get comfortable with risk. The kinds of things that we need to do in strategic decisions are just very different. So there's a whole host of things that means in terms of both our capabilities and our mindsets and our behaviors. But at the base, it's the fact that we've put ourselves in environments that we typically use to make a very different kind of decision. And we don't recognize that. We don't allow ourselves the space to occupy the different kind of environment that is required for strategy.
Absolutely. And I know that that's relevant for all different types of organizations and even sizes of organizations. But you've noted that the single biggest derailer of productive debate isn't a lack of intelligence or data, but the human need to be right. So how do you step into a room full of powerful C-suite personalities, manage those egos, and shift that collective focus from who is right to what is right?
It is not easy. And it's why I have a job. And it's why, look, it's the core of what you said that I really want to emphasize here is that my clients are smart people. This is not about remediation, right? It's not, oh, let's take you back to school because you've missed a chapter. It is that you need to work against, in many occasions, the very grain of what has made you so successful. And often what has made senior leaders successful is that they have been right. They've stood up in front of hosts of employees and made decisions and proven they were right over and over again. Good strategic decision making involves good strategic exploration. You can't get to good strategic decisions if you haven't actually tried to put yourself across a range of positions, most of which, spoiler alert, are going to turn out to be the wrong ones.
Right.
But you only know they're the wrong ones if you've tried. And so what I use is a whole range of tactics as we sit together in various rooms and various offsites that put us in a space of exploration. I, in fact, sometimes quite explicitly and often implicitly ask my clients to be wrong. In fact, the right answer is the wrong one as we are exploring. And it helps them to kind of find a way to release that need to be right, to recognize that being right in the end requires us to be wrong for a day or two as we are exploring.
Yeah, and I mentioned already the small business piece, and I want to highlight that. You spent a decade at McKinsey managing global corporate strategy, but you've pointed out that the Fortune 500 strategy playbook is often actively counterproductive for small to medium enterprises. What is the biggest mistake mid-market leaders when they try to copy massive corporate frameworks?
Yeah, well, the number one mistake is to avoid doing strategy at all, because it just seems too big and cumbersome and expensive and it feels wrong. But let's say we've gotten past that mistake. The biggest mistake after that is to not take advantage of the assets that you as a small and medium-sized business owner have, which is proximity to markets and the ability to explore and adjust as you go. So trying to get strategy, let's call it too right, even circling back on the last question, right? If we try to get it perfect, if we try to get 100% answer as a small and medium-sized enterprise, you're actually doing yourself a disservice. You want to find a way to a good enough strategy with clarity around what is it that you're going to bring to the marketplace to test, knowing that your business, uniquely from Fortune 500s, has the ability to adjust and maneuver. You can, in fact, do strategy sort of in vivo in a way that the big organizations can't. And if you follow those frameworks to a T, you're going to miss out on that opportunity.
I'm chatting with Dr. Marja Fox. And Marja, you have a PhD in physical chemistry, a background in theater, and extensive experience advising top-tier leaders. I have to ask, how does combining scientific problem solving with the theatrical ability to read energy and improvise allow you to say the uncomfortable truths that others sugarcoat?
It wasn't a skill set that came about by design. I think many of us have the experience of looking back at our lives and being able to construct a narrative that we know we had no idea about as we were looking forward. And that's certainly true for me. But what I have discovered is that the kind of hardcore analytical toolkit I have as a chemist that allows me to see and take apart problems that are bigger and scarier than many people are willing to confront, combined with, a good body of experience and intuition that comes out of, constructing 100 strategies over the course of my career, and the ability as a former theatrical actress to stand in front of a room and understand when people need something exciting, when they need some quiet time, means that I am able to guide these hard conversations, the hardest conversations that clients have in making really difficult, high stakes decisions about their future. So in those environments, when a team is usually or often so overwhelmed, they sort of give up or don't make progress, I can help them crack the problem. I can help them have confidence by bringing pattern recognition. And I can help them with the team dynamics that all get in the way. All three of those have to happen at the same time in order to get to good and great strategies. And my background is well suited to help them with that.
It sure is. Well, Marja, that's a perfect way for us to wrap up our conversation as we have to cut some headlines. Marja, how can our listeners learn more about you and the important work that you do if they want to continue that conversation?
Well, I would love to continue that conversation. And the good news, with a name like Marja, Marja, it is not hard to find me. I have a website, marjafox.com. And I also publish 3, 4, 6 times a week on LinkedIn. So find me, connect with me, follow me. There's a lot there that I offer that gives you real tips and practical tools to take home with you, as well as the ability to contact me for those problems that get really big and thorny.
Amazing. Marja, thank you so much. MarjaFox.com, Marja Fox on LinkedIn. We'll link in the show notes as well. As mentioned, we've got to cut to some headlines, commercials, a quick break, but we'll be right back. The show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.